Hi, guys, and welcome to the Truth Factor, where we do headlines with an attitude. Okay, guys, there's been some developing things that I think are pretty important. Some protests that in Dublin and here in the United States that I think that we might want to pay attention to. We also have swarms of drones, kamikaze attacks on the USS Thomas Hudner uh, ship. So just some things I want to get out there, and then Kentucky declaring a state of emergency after the freight train derailment that was yesterday. So anyway, just some things we want to touch base real good. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. I am out here in the car to bring you guys these headlines. But guys, everybody's in the house and they're watching football, and it's just, the kids are being loud, and so we're out here. Anyway, let's get into this first article, guys. It is from Hal Turner. You'll find all of these articles in the Wixit in the description in the box below. Um, Here's the first article: Swarms of drone kamikazes attacked the USS Thomas Hudner. Um, and I think I have a better article here, but this is basically it's really short and sweet from Hal Turner. He says that the USS Hudner, an Arleigh Burke class destroyer of the United States Navy, was attacked by a swarm of drones this morning while patrolling in the Red Sea. The ship sustained no damage or injuries to its crew. The USS Central Command reported the incident after the Houthis in the country of Yemen took credit for launching the attack. The Houthis are now attacking United States naval vessels over U.S. support for Israel as the Israeli government engages in conflict with municipal government Hamas of the Gaza Strip. The Houthis launched the swarm of Iranian-made kamikaze drones in an unprecedented act of war. Yemen rebels, who have become a force to be reckoned with in the Middle East, attempted to sink the U.S. vessel, but it doesn't look like it went all that well. And then, let's see. Trying to get back to my. Sorry, guys. All right. So then we have the article that I really did like. Has a little bit more information in it. Is from War News 247. And it says serious development: swarms of the drones, kamikazes attacked the USS Thomas Hudner. The Houthis tried to sink the destroyer. This is unprecedented act of war. Let's see. The military source in the Middle East is speaking of the shooting down a number of Wayed drones, Iranian Shahadat 136 kamikaze. By a flurry of fire launched by the American destroyer. We remind you that recently the Houthis shot down the MQ-9 Reaper and captured the ship Galaxy Leader. At the same time, they continued the attacks with drones and cruise missiles against Israel. There's a video there, a couple of little videos. So if you want to check them out, you sure can. This is the War News 247 link. The American Arleigh Burke class destroyer, the USS Thomas Hudner, today shot down unmanned kamikaze aerial vehicle drones coming from areas of Yemen controlled by the pro-Iranian Shia Houthi rebels. According to the CENTCOM, the U.S. destroyer spotted and destroyed several drones believed to have targeted the ship. The drones were shot down while the U.S. ship was on patrol in the Red Sea. The vessel was not damaged and no crew members were injured. It should be noted that the drone launches were massive, with some of the drones heading towards Israel. Our forces fired missiles against various military targets and Israeli entity, and the southern Israeli Houthi military wing spokesperson Yahya Shari said via X, "We will continue to conduct military operations until the Israeli offensive against the Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank stops," he added. The situation in the area and the incident is under the control, and the ship continues its patrol mission. The destroyer of the U.S. Navy, Thomas Hudner, successfully shot down those kamikazes. So I guess it's a no biggie thing. Hello and happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Um, Mr. Thomas is laying down, and we're all watching TV upstairs here. We normally watch TV downstairs, but he did all this cooking all night, so um, he smoked. I guess he smoked it or cooked it on the pit, the turkey, and so he was up way late. Happy Thanksgiving to you, also, Rip Curl, and much love to you and your family. God bless you, brother. All right, so see if I can. There we go. Knew there had to be another way to do this. Okay, so then we have now, guys. I'm not gonna mention that there was a Canadian mercenary killed by a Russian army in Ukraine. Um, and the Russian armed forces are the ones that announced that the Canadian mercenary Joshua Mayers from Alberta, Canada, had been successfully liquidated by Russian army and Bakhmut direction. Now, I don't know that that's a success, but obviously Russia thinks it's a success. But it's a horrible tragedy, and our prayers and thoughts go out to his family. He joined Ukraine in September of 2023, and he was killed on the 10th. Let's see. All righty. Then we also have from the Gateway Pundit, guys. The Kentucky governor declares a state of emergency after the freight train derailment. On Wednesday, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear declared a state of emergency after a freight train derailed in Rockcastle County. At least 15 train cars were involved in the incident, including two sulfur dioxide cars, leading to the spillage of their contents. According to WKYT, the town of Livingston and Piney Branch have been evacuated, and an emergency Red Cross shelter has been established at an area middle school. The train is on a CSX line. The CSX told us that the derailment happened shortly before 2:30 Wednesday afternoon, and at least 15 cars were involved, including two sulfur cars that had been breached and lost some of their content. One member of the two-person crew was treated at the scene for minor injuries. Kentucky emergency management officials said no one was hospitalized as a result of the derailment. As of 8 a.m. Thursday, emergency officials said a fire was still burning at the site of the derailment. However, they say the firefighting efforts have been successful in eliminating much of the sulfur dioxide that was released into the air as a result of the derailment and subsequent fire. By issuing a state of emergency, we are ensuring that every state resource is available to keep our family safe, Governor Beshear said. Please stay clear of this area as state and local CSX officials respond. According to the statement, the state's emergency operations center has been activated to a level 4, and the state energy and environment cabinet emergency response team is on the scene. And then there is pictures of some cots at Rockcastle County Middle School, about 100 cots, thanks to Raw News Alert. Anyway, so that is kind of the update on the situation that happened yesterday, it sounds like. Then we also have, let's see. Okay, so this here one from Hal Turner, guys. This I think is pretty big. Reports of the UBS group failed to deliver bonds due November 22nd. The DTCC deleted those bond cusp numbers. I think this could be pretty big, guys. I mean, I don't know a lot about, Switzerland Bank, but I know that they kind of hold a lot of the world's money, don't they? So I think this might be important, but who knows? I'm not a banker, but I'm just reporting the headlines, right? This story is updated and corrected as of 12:19 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. See the bottom. The UBS Group AG is a multinational investment bank and financial service company found and based in Switzerland. Headquartered in the cities of Zurich and Basel, it maintains a presence in all major financial centers as the largest Swiss banking institution and the largest private bank in the world. Yesterday, the UBS appeared to have failed to deliver on bonds that were due. According to rapidly spreading reports, not only has the UBS failed to deliver on these bonds, but the Depository Trust and Clearing Corruption reportedly took action to cover up the UBS failure to deliver the DTCC, allegedly deleting the cusp numbers for those bonds. So, as a matter of record, those bonds no longer exist. Apparently, they're simply gone. Let's begin with some basics. Hey, Drop, how are you, brother? Tell Miss Phoebe happy Thanksgiving. What is the DTCC? The Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation is an American post trade financial services company providing clearing and settlement services to the financial market. It performs the exchange of securities on behalf of buyers and sellers and functions as a central security depository by providing central custody of securities. The DTCC was established in 1999 as a holding company to combine the Depository Trust Company and National Securities Clearing Corporation. User owned and directed. It automates, centralizes, standardizes, and streamlines processes in the capital markets. Though it is subsidiary, DTCC provides clearance, settlement, and information services for the equities, corporate, and municipal bonds unit, investment trust, government and mortgage backed security money market instruments, and over the counter derivatives. It also manages transactions between mutual funds, insurance carriers, and their respective investors. Hi there, Ryan. Happy Thanksgiving. In 2011, the DTCC settled the vast majority of securities transactions in the United States and close to 1.7 quadrillion in value worldwide, making it by far the highest financial value processor in the world. The DTCC operates facilitates in New York metropolitan area and in multiple locations in and outside the United States. What is the CUSP number? The CUSP stands for Committee on Uniform Securities Identification Procedure. A CUSP number identifies most financial instruments, including stock of all registered U.S. and Canadian companies, commercial paper, and U.S. government and municipal bonds. The CUSP system, formerly known as the CUSP Globally Service, owned by the American Banker Association and managed by Standard and Poor Global Market Intelligence, helps facilitate the clearance and settlement process of securities. CUSP numbers consist of 9 characters, including letters and numbers, that uniquely identify a company, a issuer, and a type of financial instrument. A similar system is used to identify foreign securities. The CUSP, the International Number System, or CINS. The CINS employs the same 9 character identifier as CUSP, but it also contains a letter in the first position to signify the issue's country or geographic region. The bond CUSP numbers. Delete it. For those that want to see the wording here. According to reports coming out from the general public, the DTCC deleted the CUSP numbers for those UBS bonds. Without CUSP numbers, there is no bond to buy, sell, or trade. It seems the records of the money are just gone. No CUSP numbers equals no bond. No bond equals no money for the bondholder. When a failure to deliver happens, both sides in the transaction are supposed to report it to authorities. There are fines associated with failure to deliver. For the instance, in a transaction with a 50 million position, the fines are about 4,166 per day. The government implemented these fines back in the year 2009. They implemented them because in the financial crisis of '08, October 2008 alone, some 16 trillion in bonds alone failed to deliver. So why would the DTC not report these failed to deliver bonds by the UBS and instead just wipe them off the planet? by deleting the cusp numbers. It's like the bonds never existed. Does this mean that the UBS just doesn't have the money? Where did it go? Does this mean that the financial markets are so corrupt that they can actually control the DTCC to get the DTCC to cover up a massive failure to deliver? It is so simple that when bad actors can't deliver on their bonds, they can just pick up the phone, call their buddies at the DTCC, and have their buddies just erase them, because that's what appears to have taken place. The DTCC appears to have simply erased these bonds as they never existed. Oh, and by the way, if they didn't have the money to pay the bonds, it is a safe bet that they also don't have the money to pay the fines. So it seems as though they just had the bonds erased by DTCC by deleting the cusp numbers. What is the failure to deliver the FTD? Failure to deliver the FTD refers to the situation where one party in trading contract, whether it's share futures, options, or forward contracts, doesn't deliver on their obligations. Such failures occur when a buyer, the party with a long position, doesn't have enough money to take the delivery and pay for the transaction at settlement. A failure can also occur when a seller, the party with a short position, does not own all or any of the underlying assets required at settlement and so cannot make the delivery. Key takeaways. Failure to deliver refers to not being able to meet one's trading obligations. In the case of the buyers, it means not having the cash. In the case of the sellers, it means not having the goods. The reckoning of these obligations occur at trade settlement. Failure to deliver can occur in derivatives, contracts, or when selling short naked. Understanding the failure to deliver. Whenever the trade is made, both parties in the transactions are contractually obligated to transfer either cash or assets before the settlement date. Subsequently, if the transaction is not settled, one side of the transaction has failed to deliver. Failure to deliver can also occur if there is a technical problem in the settlement process carried with the respect of clearinghouse. Failure to deliver is critical when discussing naked short selling. Guys, I don't want to read everything. This is a very long letter, but I think we should have kind of some basic knowledge. And so we're going to, um, I just wanted to share this. I'll read like what I think is really important. Chain reactions of failure to deliver the event. We're going to read the red thing down here. It says the same scenario applies to financial and commodity instruments. Failure to deliver in one part of the chain can impact participants much further down the chain. So then down here, he has some stuff that I guess he had to take out because it's all marked out. But anyway, during the financial crisis of '08, failures to deliver increased much of the same check kidding where someone writes a check but has not yet have it secured. So guys, I don't even have a clue if anybody has and it is a serious problem for every. It sounded like it was a serious problem, Walter. That's how come I'm spending a little bit more time on this article, even as lengthy as it is, because it has a little bit of information in there that I think everybody needs. But it is kind of concerning, and so we will report everything that we can find on it, as you know, as it is a developing story, clearly, but it's not something you want to hear the day before Black Friday, right? Not good, is it? Okay. So then we also have this it seems like Irish rioters. This is an update. I don't have the first part of it, but it says Irish rioters set a Holiday Inn Express on fire in Dublin, where hundreds of illegal migrants are being held after alleged Algerian migrant stabs numerous children near a school. Now, this has to be. This sounds pretty serious, guys. Well, I'll see if I can share the headline here. This is from the Gateway Pundit. 5 people, including children, were stabbed near a school in Dublin, Ireland, on Thursday by a suspect whose identity has not yet been released. These children and 2 adults were taken to a nearby hospital with stab wounds. Their condition is unknown. There are reports that a perpetrator is an Algerian immigrant. The video from Dublin tonight show hundreds of outraged locals on the street following the stabbing spree. Breaking out, Irish riders set the Holiday Inn Express on fire. Dublin tonight after the Algerian migrant stabbed several innocent children. The people in Ireland have had enough. There's quite a few videos here. I'm not going to play the videos, but there are quite a few videos if you guys want to see the videos. And I think that's it. So, not good. I have another article, though, on this situation here. Um, let it get back to where we was. This one here is from the New York Post. And it says this is from the New York Post. It says the protesters take to the street in Dublin after the knife attack that injured 3 children and serious and um, my grand my 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 baby and his kids went to Florida to, I guess, Disney World. Anyway, so they're in Florida and they just landed. So that's awesome news. Praise God. I just got the text. So protests broke out in central Dublin Thursday evening after an Irish police said a 5-year-old girl was receiving emergency medical treatment following an attack that involved a knife. A woman and 2 other children were injured. Irish police said that they were treating the case as a terror related and that the man in the 50s, who was also hospital with serious injuries, is a person of interest. Police said they had a definite line of inquiry and that they weren't looking for anyone else in connection with the violence outside of the school in the heart of Dublin soon after 1:30. In the early evening, protesters fired flares and fireworks at the police cordon in Dublin around the scene of the incident. Police armed with shields fended off violent demonstrators attempting to kick and punch them. Many of those attacking the police had their faces covered. Well, of course. A number of police vehicles and tram were damaged during the disorder in the city center. A bus and car were also on the fires on the city's O'Connell Bridge. The scenes where witnesses this evening in our city has center cannot and will not be tolerated, said Justice Minister Helen McEntee. A thuggish and manipulative element must be not allowed to be used in a polling tragedy to wreak havoc. Earlier, Superintendent Liam Garrotti said at the media briefing, preliminary indications are that the man attacked a number of people at Parnell Square. He said the belief that was a standalone incident, not necessarily connected to any other wider issues that are ongoing in the country or in the city. We need to identify the exact reason for that happening. So let's see. He also confirmed that the witness sought to disarm the man as soon as they saw that what he was going on. Misunderstanding is the members of the public did intervene at a very, very early stage, and we would applaud those members of the public for getting involved in such a traumatic and potentially dangerous situation for themselves. Now, there's a car on fire in one of these pictures. Hopefully, y'all can see that. It is indeed. All of these migrants, absolutely. You know it. But he said that a woman who is in her 30s suffered serious injuries while 2 other children, a 5-year-old boy and a 6-year-old girl, sustained less serious injuries. And that is what the New York Post article says, guys. Trying to. Here we go. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get my silly phone back to where we need it to be. All right. So then we also have from the Gateway Pundit, the protesters here in the United States. We have some crazy protesters trying to block the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, guys. Crazy stuff. That's this headline. It says, even as Israel has agreed to a humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza to facilitate a ransom deal where hostages are ready to be released, there was pro-Hamas protesters in New York City stage a blockade of Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, and on Thursday, some of the protesters reported glued their hands to the street. The blockade followed a float featuring a Palestinian flag being displayed by the Masfee Wapaman tribe of Massachusetts and protesters in the reviewing stands holding up banners. Now, guys, I mean, somebody had to let them into the area. You can, in this picture, even, you can see that they have gates up where they've, fenced off people, and it's a small group of people in there. How did they get there? With all the police presence, if you've ever been to a parade in a downtown area, um, there's usually a large amount of police presence, and they have everything roped off. And how do you break this barrier? I don't know, but it does raise questions, and it is a small group there. It says communist groups were behind this, several of those protest groups, including Answers and the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Banners displayed readers' liberation of Palestine and the planet, and genocide then, genocide now. Several groups crashed the parade, with some eventually being detained by police. Imagine that. There is a video in this article, guys, and I will encourage you to go and check it out. And I bet they have them buttoned up as well, Walter. Absolutely. Um, anyway, earlier in the parade, pro Hamas protesters in the reviewing stands held by up banners. And there's some more videos. The blockade of Macy's parade was announced in advance and was apparently allowed to happen. Imagine that. Like I said, you can tell that it was allowed to happen because of the small group that's in there. It's not a large group. And it just is, you know, I don't like to say it's staged, but when you see that there is a certain amount of fencing or gate to keep people out, and there's only a small little crowd in there, and cops, one of the videos I think I saw, it looked like the cop was there. It just tells you that it was granted or allowed, however you want to word it. And then we also, okay, so guys, we covered some articles yesterday. They were talking, it was a terrorist attack with the car explosion on the Rainbow Bridge. Remember that yesterday? And I don't know what their deal is, why they're I guess trying to change the narrative now all of a sudden. I'm not quite sure what the what is going on, but I have an article here from End Time Headlines that says we have an update, and now the New York governor is Kathy Hochul is now saying that the explosion was not a terrorist attack. Yeah. So the FBI is investigating a vehicle explosion that occurred Wednesday at the Rainbow Bridge border crossing between the U.S. and Canada. The vehicle was heading from the U.S. to Canada and was going in the direction of the border. Officials building sources told Fox News Alex McAdams. All bridges were closed in the area and all government buildings were evacuated, according to sources. Sources tell Fox News Alex McAdams that the incident was being treated as a possible attack. Fox News' Alex McAdams was told by sources that the explosion was so big and fierce that authorities first thought it was a terrorist attack. New York Governor Kathy Hochul said the incident happened at 11:27 when someone was driving crashed into a median and the border crossing. She added that there's no sign that the incident was a terrorist attack, adding that local individual was involved. International border crossing points between Canada and Western New York are closed after the report incident, which has also injured and at least one person, 27-year-old male, who was taken to Niagara Falls Memorial Hospital with minor injuries, including back pain and minor cuts. His condition is not severe. The FBI Buffalo field office is investigating the vehicle explosion at the Rainbow Bridge, a border crossing between the U.S. and Canada. In Niagara Falls, the FBI statement says. Then it continued, the FBI coordinated with our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners in the investigation. At the situation is very fluid. That's all we can say at this time. Rainbow Bridge connects Niagara Falls, New York, and Niagara Falls, Canada. The New York Governor Kathy Hochul said a statement that she's traveling to Buffalo. I have been briefed on the situation that occurred at the Rainbow Bridge in Niagara Falls. Hochul said, at my direction, the New York State Police is actively working with the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force to monitor all points of entry to New York. I am traveling to Buffalo to meet with the law enforcement and emergency responders and will update New Yorkers when more information becomes available. New York City Mayor Eric Adams said the NYPD has enhanced the security. Okay, so she made that claim that, it wasn't a terrorist attack. Um, Not a terrorist attack, she says. But, oh, come on, trying to get this. There we go. But we have also from End Time Headlines, Buffalo Airport cancels. Hold on. I hate all the dang on little stupid things that pop up when you're trying to do this. Buffalo Airport cancels all international flights following the car explosion. The bridge is closed as the Peace Bridge, which connects Buffalo and Canada. All international flights to and from the Buffalo Airport have been canceled. The Niagara Frontier Transportation Authority says cars coming into Buffalo airports are undergoing security checks. Travelers should be prepared for extra screenings. According to the FBI Twitter post, they are coordinated with local, state, and federal law enforcement partners. The AP reports that the vehicle exploded at the checkpoint on the American side of the U.S. Canada bridge, leaving 2 people dead and prompting the closing of 4 border crossings in the area, of authorities said. There was no immediate information on the cause of the explosion. The 2 deceased people were in the vehicle, a law enforcement official told the Associated Press. The official was not authorized to discuss details in this investigation publicly and spoke on a condition of anonymity. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said officials were taking this extraordinarily serious, and the White House said that Biden was closely following the developments. This is obvious a very serious situation in Niagara Falls, Trudeau said, before excusing himself from the question period in this House. Comments. And the state, Kathy Hochul said, I have been briefed on the situation that occurred at the Rainbow Bridge. At my direction, the New York State Police is actively working with the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force to monitor all points of the entry. Okay, then Frederick Douglass Greater Rochester and International Airport. It appeared to be pretty much business as usual Wednesday afternoon. Channel 10 NBC has reached out to the airport officials and waits to hear back on what kind of response, if any, that officials will be taken. The State Department of Transportation confirmed that Rainbow Bridge and Peace Bridge are closed, as well as the Lewiston, Queenston, and Whirlpool bridges at the direction of the federal authorities. Remaining international crossings are open but on heightened alert status. The DOT also is closing the I-190 at an upper mountain road in Niagara County. The I-190 Niagara Thoroughway northbound exit 9 to Peace Bridge is closed as well. So even though she comes out and says that this wasn't a terrorist attack, that it was, I guess, a car crash, whatever, they've gone through an awful lot of, you know, extra precautionary measures, we'll say, closing or international flights into Buffalo and other things, and closing down bridges. If it was just a regular car crash, why would they be doing all that? Something smells a fish. I'm not quite exactly sure why it smells so fishy, but something doesn't sound right here, guys. And I'll tell you, I mean, I hope that um, there was no, bomb, that it was just a car accident, that there was no foul play. But I think that for it not to, uh, for it to have just been a car crash, they've gone through an awful lot of extra measures closing everything down. So I call, it's a lie. Something's not right here. Anyway, all right, guys, that is what I have for you today. If anything else happens, guys, I'll try and bring it to you later. But I wanted to get these articles out to you because there are several things, definitely about the UBS Bank, and then the swarm of drones attacking that USS Thomas Hudner. I wanted to get this information out to you guys. I told you if anything happened today and you saw me go live, that it would be pretty important. And I feel like all of the stuff in Kentucky with the train derailment and everything else that has happened, I just felt it was urgent that we needed to get this information out. Anyway, I hope you all have an enjoyable Thanksgiving day. I'm going to go back in here and enjoy the time the rest of the day with my family. If anything else breaks, guys, I'll bring it to you. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. God bless you. Love you all. Bye.